Hi, in this session I am going to talk about mutation selection. Mutation selection is one of the best method for the improvement of industrial strains. Industrial strain improvement can be done with the three different methods. One is isolation of natural variants, second is mutation selection, and finally we have recombinant DNA technology. Mutation selection is an easy to do method and it is extensively used in the industrial biotechnology for strain improvement. So let me tell the details of mutation selection method. It is the most common method of strain improvement. And what we do in mutation selection, first we take the microorganism or the organism which we are going to use in industry, and we'll expose the microorganism with a mutagen. So the mutagen can be a physical agent or a chemical agent. If we When we expose the microorganism with the mutagen will cause mutation in the microorganism. So the mutation will be random in nature. In some microorganism will be unaffected by this mutation, but some of them will be affected one segment of DNA, and the same mutagen may affect another segment of DNA in different microorganism. So mutation is basically random in nature. Some bacteria will get mutated in multiple genes, and some of them will be mutated in only a few places in the genome. So due to this mutation, the presence of mutagen, we will get a variation in this bacteria. We have a uniform strain of bacteria. Because of the action of this mutagen, the different bacteria will be get mutated in different locations in the genome, and we will different varieties. So after the mutation, what we are going to do is like we will analyze we will isolate each of this bacteria and look for who among them has better characteristics. The whole idea is to get better productivity and better yield and better characteristics. So we will isolate all of this microorganism, all the different variants produced by the mutation, and we'll analyze for the bacteria which has the better qualities. We basically look for the improvements in this strain. Then once we identify the strains with the better characteristics, what we'll do, we will isolate the bacteria and will mutate it again. And next round also we will look for the betterment of the characteristics, and we will isolate the improved strains, then go for the another round, and this process will go on forever. So that's why it's a continuous increase in production by repeated mutation. It is the idea of the mutation selection is very much similar to the idea of evolution. In the evolution, the Charles Darwin said there is a variations in the population, and the selection is based on the condition. The best fit will be selected. In this mutation selection is an artificial evolution process. So artificially we are creating the situation. To induce the variation, we are introducing a mutagen, a physical or chemical agent. So the mutation will occur in the bacteria, and this variation will be produced. Out of this variance, we are selecting the microorganism with the organism with the better characteristics to be used in the industry, and we will do it again and again to get the better production. So this is a schematic diagram of strain improvement using mutation selection, and this example tells about the spore suspension from the fungus or other spore producing organism. We'll take the spore and we will expose the spore to a mutagenic agents. This mutagenic agents will mutate the organism and produce a variation among these organisms. And once we get the organisms, the variants, we will select, in this example we will select 200 colonies from it. Once we have the colonies, we will store them as a stock. We already discussed the preservation techniques that can be used for the preservation of microorganism. And from these vials we take one of it and go for the seed fermentation and the production fermentation. So all of each of these 200 colonies will be converted into conical flask for production, and we will see whether what is the productivity of this organism and other characteristics. And after this 200, we will select 50 best producers after mutation. So the 200 we screen down into 50, and we will again study the characteristics of these 50 producers, and out of this 50 we will select 4, and these 4 producers will be again mutated and selected, shortlisted, selected, and we'll come up with another 4. So this process will go on forever. So this is a schematic diagram. Let me tell about mutagens. Mutagens can be physical or chemical in nature. One of the common mutagens is alkylating agents. I am explaining it as an example. The alkylating agents including nitrogen mustard, ethylenimine, N-methyl, N-nitro, N-nitrosoguanidine. If you think about the mechanisms of action of these alkylating agents, for example, the nitrogen mustard used to react with the guanine to produce a complex. Here we have the guanine complex with the nitrogen mustard. Once the guanine get a nitrogen mustard complex, what it will do? It react with the neighboring guanine to form a cross linkage of two guanines. So in this figure, you can see there's a cross link between this guanine and the other guanine. So once the cross link is formed, the replication machinery will stop there, and the bacteria try to repair this damage. But most of the time, during the time of repair, mutation occurs in the DNA. So that's how it works. Uh, UV radiation is an example of physical mutagenesis. During the physical mutagenesis, UV radiation come to the two adjacent thymine residues. Once the UV radiation came, they will form a thymine dimer. You can see a bump here, and this the replication machinery of the bacteria used to stop when they come across with this thymine dimer. Again, the repair mechanism come into play. During the repair of DNA, it causes mutation in the DNA. So that's how the physical mutagenesis occur using UV. And in industry, in the most cases, we are not using a approach like no one source of mutagenesis is not used. We will use in combinations like UV radiation along with the nitrogen mustard, or UV radiation again along with the ethylenamine. So such combinations are used to improve the efficiency of mutation. We will do it in combinations. So these are the requirements of mutagenesis. Even though the mutagenesis is a simple process when compared to the recombinant DNA technology, it is not that simple. It means the recombinant DNA technology is more complicated and more sophisticated, and it requires so many clearance from the administrative side. But in that respect, it is easy, but it have multiple steps. The first step in mutation is to develop a sustainable system for obtaining mutants. The obtaining mutants is like we should have the treatment strategy which ensure enough mutation in all of these organisms. Different microorganism has different susceptibility to mutagenic agents. Maybe one organism will be mutated easily with UV light. Maybe the another organism is resistant to UV light. And if you using the chemical agents, if you are using it in high dose, and we don't know what is high dose is for each organism, the high dose for each organism vary. Maybe the 1 milligram of one mutagenic agent is a high dose for a microorganism. For another microorganism, 10 milligram will be a high dose. So we need to fine tune what is the amount of these mutagens required and what are the best combinations. So especially what we need, what is required for mutagenesis is to a system to obtain mutants. The system should work in such a way that if you are using so much of these mutagens for this much of time in particular media, we will get enough mutants so that we can work on it to see whether the productivity is improved or not. Secondly, what we need is a reliable screening system. The screening system is to see whether the productivity is improved or not. In our example, we said we are selecting 200 different microorganisms and studying the characteristics of these 200 different microorganisms. Then we shortlist into 50 and we will do a detailed analysis. So there is a system to analyze the characteristics. So we should know what are the characters we are looking for, and what are the improvements we are looking for. So once we have the mutants, we'll have a screening system in which we'll screen all the mutants to see whether the productivity is increased. And next we need a suitable method for evaluation of result. So what are the major criteria we should ensure? What are the ideal characters we need to improve, or what is the target we need to achieve? So that a method and evaluation process should be there. And reliable analytical method. The most cases we will use computer based statistical analytical methods to evaluate a strain. When we are mutating, sometimes we will get a better yield, but maybe the nutrient requirements may be changed or the growth rate may be reduced. So we need to get all the ideal character characters together. So there should be analytical methods, basically statistical methods, to analyze the results, and we need an appropriate culture storage and preservation. We already talk about the methods of storage and preservation of industrially important strains. So every time when we are doing the strain improvement, we need to preserve these microorganisms. So in our examples, we are doing first time we have 200 different strains. We need to store, preserve, and if we are doing it again, we will get another 200. Maybe if we are shortlisting 200 into 50 and then to 4, and we are doing the mutation for all these 4 colonies. So in the second cycle, instead of 200, we are getting 800 different colonies we need to preserve. So the appropriate storage facility should be there. So the requirement of a mutagenesis, first we need a system, then a screening system. Again, we need a method of evaluation of result. Analytical method should be there, and facilities for storage and preservation. So that's all for this session. In this session, we talked about the mutation, selection strategies, and requirement of mutation. Thank you. Thank you so much.